Jose, and I asked him to be on here. Pretty cool story. The post I saw was that he was at the gym next to T3, which he's representing with his shirt I see today. So,
yeah.
Ike, when you're watching, you can be stoked.
That's even...
well branded. But there was a machine there, and it said error or something like that, right? You maxed it out on the thing. And then the post that you made said, a year ago, I got an error message on the scale. Mm-hmm. And now a year later, I outworked this machine. And I was like, okay, I need to hear this story. I want to know what happened. And so, yeah, for anybody watching, if you want to kind of walk them through what happened.
Well, yeah, I was about 400 pounds, or 417. And then I lost a lot of weight playing volleyball and working out, doing boot camp. And then I got down to in 2015, I got down to about maybe 260. And then I kept it off until about 2019. There was this tournament we had in Waco Juniors Club. And all I did was just take a step to the left because I was setting. And something in my calf just shot up my leg. And I was like, oh, that hurts. People thought it might have been a cramp, but I'm like, no, cramp at 8 o'clock in the morning? I don't think so. And then Juan came over and he just started rubbing my calf really hard. And I was like, no, that's not helping. That is not helping at all.
Stop pushing
yes.
Achilles tendon.
Yeah. And then that's when I just kind of, can't play volleyball. And then I just remember that's when I started the bad habits. But I just kind of gave up. Like, I got tired of everything. I just didn't want to do anything anymore. Mm-hmm. Ate everything I wanted. I guess you could say I would order pizza at Little Caesars. And then since it's right around the corner, I'd go to Taco Bell, wait in the drive-thru since it took like 15, 20 minutes for them to make a pizza.
For the Little Caesars pizza.
So I would go to Taco Bell and just get, a couple of 5-layer burritos, enjoy those, and then come back and the pizza will be ready, and then I'll just eat that on the way home and then finish it when I got there over the night. And when the scale finally, just watching the numbers go up the scale, and I'll just tell myself, like, you don't even care anymore. Mm-hmm. And like, Facebook memories has a good way of bringing up past stuff.
Oh, Facebook.
Unfortunately, there's like a lot of volleyball clips on there I'll see of, stuff that I used to do when I would play, or just have, people I miss I hadn't seen in a long time. And I'm just like, it doesn't faze me. Or just, I guess there's like this numbness, I guess. Like, you just, like when I was doing like Little Caesars and Taco Bell stuff, like I wouldn't throw away any of the trash or any of the wrappers. Like, I had pizza boxes stacked up around the house, and I just didn't care. Like, I know a part of me was thinking like, all right, well, maybe if I eat so much, like if I had a night where I just had like all the pizza in the world, maybe, I think sleep apnea was coming back too because I gained so much weight.
Oh, right.
So I was like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll pass in my sleep.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is dark.
Yeah. That was definitely a thought process that came to mind was, I didn't want to put in the work again because I had done it before so many times. And it's like, well, even if you do lose weight, let's say you lose another 100 pounds, 5 years from now, you're probably going to have it back. I just blew back up to about 412 pounds again. I was conscious of my weight gain, but at the same time, I was just like, man, eventually I'll get it right eventually, or, I'll pick it back up. I can pick it back up whenever I want. I can lose that weight again. I can lose, and then the scale finally read error, and I was like, dang, I did it again. And that kind of triggered like, all right, I'm older now. I don't know if I have the same, energy I did when I was like 23, and then, being 400 pounds again, I was 29, or I was 31 years old. So I'm like, man, I don't know if my body could handle doing boot camps again. And then, what happens if I get an injury? I'm just going to get hurt, and then I'm just going to fall off again. It'd be fun to get back into volleyball, but then if you do play volleyball, you're not going to be as effective as you were, and you're just going to be the burden on the team.
This is kind of a big deal because Jose runs a Facebook group called Super Badass Volleyball Ninjas.
Yeah.
If you play volleyball and you're not in here, you don't really play volleyball. So that's how it is. a lot of socializing, a lot of friends, a lot of connections. Jose's like the social guy. He's like the one that everyone's going to come see when they go. So the fact that you hadn't been there for so long, kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't show up for 9 months. I remember players that were either just getting into the sport or, you know, they were practicing or they haven't really developed, and getting to see them, you know, 9 months later, it's like, wow, they've gotten really good over this time and they've really been playing. And it's like, it's pretty cool to see that in people. Especially like, you know, when you see them when they first started and you see them kind of grow, and it's like, all right, cool. And then now they've got like really good close friends that are in this group, and it's kind of cool to see how those friendships, you know, form that way.
Yeah, I think you offer that to a lot of people around here, actually. That's the first place even that I met people when I came to...
I remember when you showed up to Open Gym.
Yeah, I went to the Open Gym and I was like, okay, I'm going to make some friends. It was really fun, and it was like the first time I plugged into a community in this area. Yeah. It was actually that group of people. It's even where I met Joel and Kayla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you go back to that transition time, how'd you start turning it around?
I think I convinced myself that I could do it again. Health concerns too, you know, being that big is not good.
Family,
yeah. I've been single for a while, and just thought, well, if I lost some weight and kind of build some self-confidence or whatever, I can hopefully get back maybe in the dating realm of things, and just kind of, you know, go about hopefully one day getting married somewhere down the road. So that's kind of like motivation too for me to kind of want to just, you know, flip the table again and start playing volleyball again, just to get myself more active. Doing that, I was like, all right, I'll go sign up at T3 again. So I started doing boot camps, and the weight really started coming off. Unfortunately though, I signed up in March of 2020, and like 2 weeks later, COVID shut everything down.
Yeah.
And I needed something to do every day, at least to get some exercise, so I decided I'm gonna start walking to work. I'm not gonna let this COVID thing, you know, just kind of stop my plans or whatever. So I decided to walk to work, and the first day, my coworker, he saw me walking, as he was pulling out of the driveway, and he's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm walking, man, I'm getting my exercise in. And he's like, oh, you don't gotta do that, man, I can give you a bike. I was like, that'd be a lot better than walking. Because I found out the very first time I walked, I was like, man, my feet hurt. And it's like 4 miles to the job and then 4 miles back. And it's like, man, 8 miles of walking on the first day. And it's like, oh, this sucks.
And it takes you a long time probably to get to work and get home.
It took me, I think an hour, in 20 minutes. So it was like, I had to get up at 1:30 in the morning. So I was like, oh, that sucks. So finally he was like, hey, I'll give you a bike. And he let me borrow his bike, or actually he gave me his bike. Sure enough, I started riding that bike, and it only took me 20 minutes to get to work, or about 20 to 30 minutes to get to work. And of course, I put a headlight on it and a tail light and made it, you know, suitable for riding at night. And then since then, I was just going back and forth riding to work. And there's a Strava app that tracks, you know, your progress or whatever.
Right.
And it just tracks your progress. You can create segments like how long did it take for you to go from point A to point B on your route, or you can choose where you want it to track. So I pick like a little straightaway, and then anytime I see it, it'll come up on my app and be like, hey, you're doing X segment. Your personal record is, you know, 2 minutes to do this. So I was like, all right, well, it kind of gives you a little motivation.
Yeah.
You see it, it gives you a little chime. Once I got off work, I would go ride at Pepper Creek and just try and figure out how far I could go. And I see these guys on road bikes, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can try that. And then I learned the difference between road bikes and mountain bikes.
So you raced them through the fields.
Yeah.
Come on a trail, let's find out who's the best.
I had to cut corners. But, and then those hills, I mean, there's this big one right in front of Legacy, or on that same road as it Cedar Creek.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's fun going towards Legacy because it's just all downhill and it's flat like the whole way to 317. So you really don't have to pedal as much. Then when you turn around, Joel also had weights there. So I was able to do like a little workout. And then got on the bike, and then went back home, and then I had to climb back up that giant hill.
And now you got good motivation because you got to get home.
Yeah. I'm gonna just die out here. But yeah, once I did that, I started telling my coworker, I'm like, hey man, thanks for the bike. It's really great. He's like, you've been using it? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm, using it for work and then riding it around just outside of work too. And he's like, why don't you come to Dana Peak? And I was like, I've never been, mountain biking per se. Legit like that. And he's like, oh, don't worry, man. I'll take care of you, this and that. And I was like, all right, cool. So we went out there, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first ride, I went with a group of 4. It's literally like the trail would be like the size of your tire, that wide. and you're just trying to follow the guy in front. But luckily I had my coworker. He was like, hey, don't worry about this part. Don't try to keep up. Just ride your ride. And there would be like parts where the trail would disappear or the line would disappear. And you have to like not jump, but like just cross over. But not seeing that, I'm like, I got to make a jump. You know, I didn't, you know, I'm thinking that this is complicated. This is too scary. But, you know, over time I learned how to, you know, transition over and kind of, you know, mix through the trails and ride through them. I just kept losing weight doing that too, big time, especially in the summer. I would probably push like, I don't know, 10 miles would probably be a really good ride for me out there. And around this time, I was also doing boot camp. I would do boot camp and then go ride. Oh man, it'd be like 6 o'clock by the time I get out of boot camp. So I'm riding all the way to Harker Heights and maybe a couple hours of sunshine before the sun would go set, and then, you know, time to go back home. And I would get like people from volleyball. I would be like, hey man, I got an extra bike. Why don't you come with me, join me, let's go ride. And they were new to it too. Raphael, Shannon, Jacob even came out there. We had a good time, I think. It was just a fun experience to share that with, you know, to branch out from the group of volleyball peeps and just, all right, let's try something new.
And then what about your injury?
So we heard about this place called Spider Mountain just from being at the bike shop.
Oh, right.
It was like a measure of a good bike was, oh yeah, it can handle Spider Mountain. I think this is a good bike that could, you know, handle that. And I was like, Spider Mountain, what is that? That sounds crazy. So I Googled it and I found out it's like the only ski lift bike park in Texas. So that kind of like became like a destination, like, oh, we ought to go give that a try, to go up to go ride mountain bike trails that you don't have to scale up. You just ride a ski lift and you just go down the whole time. That's fun. So we set up a date, me, Shannon, and a friend of mine, Cody. Of course, we learned what green trails were, and blue trails, and diamonds, and double blacks were. And we got brave, and we were like, all right, let's do a blue trail. This one was called Venom. But we were like, it's just one step up. You know, we were handling the greens fairly easily. We were like, I think we can do a blue. There's like this good little drop, maybe about this high. Bam, we hit, and I was like, well, that's kind of, you know, we probably should slow down a little. So we slowed down, and then there was a good bank. Rocks were in there, and you had to like kind of watch out for them. But definitely perked up, you know, a little caution there. And there were these series of like 3 little jumps. And went up the first one, and I was like, all right, that wasn't bad. That was fun. And when I landed, picked up some more speed. And the second one came, and I had all my weight forward. And then when I was in the air, I just kind of like topped over, you know, over the handlebars. And I kind of like landed on like the top of my head. And then this right shoulder here just, bam, impacted. I knew something was wrong, definitely, because I started swelling up pretty bad here. This is bad. I might have to use this arm to drive. I mean, I don't know how this is going to affect work. I knew volleyball was out of the question. And I was like, crap. And this was also on my birthday, too, or day after my birthday. Well, what ended up happening was I just dislocated my collarbone. I didn't break it. I remember the ER doctors were saying that on the x-ray, there was like grades of separation, and mine was a grade 5. So it was like really far separated. I didn't tear any ligaments or anything, thank God. But it's just like, the impact just stretched it basically. And it just snapped back together. Or it didn't go back in the slot, but it just lays on top of like the shoulder joint or whatever. I was like, all right, can't work out. Or immediately my thoughts were, I can't work out now. No volleyball.
So no working out, no volleyball, 2 pounds away from a goal.
Yeah.
And so
just smashed.
What'd you do?
I was like, I'm not going to do that again.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to let myself, you know, just give it up and, you know, just start, because I've been there before. And so I think I just rode my bike. Or no, I didn't ride my bike. I couldn't. What did I do? Oh, I went walking with my dad Monday. We just went walking at Pepper Creek. And I remember trying to hit like a little jog. That hurt.
I bet.
Yeah. So I was like, nope, I can't do that. I was like, man, this sucks. I can't even. So I remember rolling out boot camp. I was like, if I could jog, maybe I can do like go to boot camp, something like. No. Maybe that first week, I think I just walked as much as I could. And then Friday came about, and I think I just started like doing a little hop. And I was like, all right, if I can jog a little, maybe I can just do like 1-arm workouts or whatever at boot camp and just kind of make it work. I went into T3. I had the sling on. I remember having like a lot of people that didn't know me like come up and be like, hey, you know, kind of ask me, you know, what happened, this and that, or people that knew me but, you know, just see me from working out.
Right.
They just thought, hey, it's pretty cool, you know, you're still working out despite, you know, having the injury. And there was one lady that made it, I forgot what movie she made a comment on. She's like, hey, you're kind of like this guy from this one movie who's obsessed with only working out the left side of his body. Like his whole left side is like really ripped and big. And his right side is dainty and weak. I don't know.
Not sure if that's a compliment.
Yeah. But I was determined to make, do whatever I could. But I was in boot camp still. I would start with just the stationary bikes. And I was able to do that for a while. And me and Cody, the guy that went with us to Spider Mountain, he was also in boot camp or in the T3 as well. And we were doing the cycling classes, spin classes. And then I worked my way over to doing boot camps. And just being able to do that definitely kept me from falling off. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I even got to doing volleyball with just one arm as well. And it wasn't pretty. I was able to feel more comfortable using my left hand for a lot of things. Being able to blocking somebody at this time was like a big deal because I was like, man, I just blocked somebody one-handed, and it was with my weak hand, my weak side, so it felt pretty cool.
Even before, you were saying when you felt that you were heavy, that if you went in and played with your friends, you were just going to be a hindrance on somebody's team. Mm-hmm. And so now here you are coming in one-handed.
Yeah. That was just a different mindset. Like, I did not want to stop playing volleyball. I was like, no, I'm going to make the best I can. Heck, I'm going to learn to use my left. Jan, Samoan guy? Yeah. He was there too, and he asked me, hey, what happened? And he's like, oh, this is going to be a great thing. You're going to learn to use your left. He was like really talking me up. One of the things of like feeling like a hindrance or feeling like, you're a burden on a team is when you don't get sets. It's like, all right, obviously, you're going to set, a big hitter like Pessamino or something, something like that, or you're going to set Jose. You're going to set the bit better hitter. Well, Jam was like really cool, and he was like, here, use your left. And he was just, setting me consistently. People would kind of pinch around me, kind of help out a little. I didn't have that. Anxiety of being a hindrance on the team or a burden on anybody.
Do you think any of that was because the community showed up in a good way? So if you go back to when you came back heavy, and you were worried that, but really they were just glad to see you.
Yeah. They were just glad to see me. People were just encouraging, like, hey, you get to use your left now. You're going to learn to use it. Just keep trying.
You've got some great concepts in here. One is this idea of building community. That it's no coincidence that you were building community, you build community, you love people, you see people out, you go do that, and the community kind of rallied around you in the times when it was tough. You got this other idea where you were reframing an obstacle. So like many things that someone would say would be an excuse, you're like, well, maybe it'll end up great down the road because I'll be better with my left hand if I have this time. And so like it keeps you motivated to do those things. And then the other one you have that I think is just so powerful, you've got this ability to say, well, let's see, I wiped out on my bike, it's COVID, I can't go anywhere to do anything, but I can walk. I'll walk. And then like, maybe I could jog a little bit. Nope. But I can walk. And since I can walk, I will walk. And then that leads to like, maybe I could jog a little bit. You know what? I can jog. You know what? Maybe I could get on, not my boot camp that I like, but I think I could do the spin class. And then when I get like, you got this ability to just say, what can I do? And then do that and keep moving forward. Where I think a lot of people, if the doctor told them that they had a, separated collarbone, and they would be like, okay, well, I'm just out. There's no. How do you do that? How do you find the motivation to just do what you don't even really want to do?
I think part of the motivation was the fact that I didn't want to give up again. Because, like I said, like the first injury was just maybe a pulled muscle in my leg. I don't know. I never went for the doctor for it. And I was like, oh, screw this. I can't play volleyball. I'm not good. If I can't play at the level I want to, I remember this was like, if I can't play at the level I want to play, I'm not going to play at all.
All or nothing mentality. Very common.
I wanted to just do whatever I could. And as small as it is, it was just, I guess maybe the fact or the action of just doing something. Just wanted to keep going. Didn't want to stop.
Progress. I think it's a really powerful word because there's an all or nothing. And it sounds like what you experienced was I tried an all or nothing mentality and found out that sometimes it ends on nothing. If I can't do all, then I'm stuck with nothing. And I don't want to be stuck with nothing again. And so now here's this idea of progress that I hear showing up again. That makes sense why you take one step at a time. Also, when you were talking about the app that says between point A and B, you have a personal record that's here. And you're like, I wonder if I can make progress.
Yeah, yeah.
I get to the machine and there's like, okay, let's see how many calories I can burn on here. Let me try to make progress. I wonder if I could get it to 1,000. Oh, I broke it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to 1,000.
It doesn't have 4 digits.
Yeah.
I remember saying how hard it is to lose. How hard could it be to lose another 100 pounds? And you say, well, who says you can't lose another 100 pounds?
Uh-huh.
You know, I never thought of it like that. I always thought of it like, you know, like if I can just live these moments again at this weight or whatever,
right?
It'd be kind of cool to, you know, experience, you know, what it was like to be at, I guess, athletic, or push myself to that point again. But even then, like I could be better. Even, you know, I could go lighter than 260 or 240. I could be 200,
uh-huh.
you know, 180, 160, you know. Actually not be, what is it, that BMI obese scale? Not be on that chart. You know, just having like this conversation here is like probably something I needed just because it's kind of been, not dark, but like being able to talk about it and hearing you talk about, you know, pointing things out to me. It's like, well, you know, just got to look inside, I guess, myself and just find what I'm looking for or find the little spark that I need.
And you've got this, the people that we talk to usually are like, I'm trying to find my self-worth, I'm trying to hit this weight, I'm trying to do, and you're like, I want to play volleyball. You know?
Yeah. I just want to play volleyball.
And
really.
you're not trying to be a professional volleyball player.
Mm-mm.
I like playing volleyball. I like the people that are there. I like being good at it. I like contributing to my team. If you'll let it, I think that can be enough. Like you can just be like, well, it's fun.
Yeah, like today we got a volleyball game. It's gonna be a fun game. They're undefeated. We're undefeated. I'm curious if I can. Like one of my main things was see if I can get that corner push because I know it's coming.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully I'm in the back row where it's up to me to get to it. That's like one of my measures, I guess, is where if I can play again like how I used to, whatever, to get that corner push and get it back up.
I love this, man. This is so great, and I hope that people see this. I don't know if you watch Simon Sinek or, you know, but there's these people out there that are like motivation. They talk about having a powerful why. You got to have a powerful why, and I think people get caught up in that. They think like, okay, my why has to be to end world hunger. And you're like, my why is because when someone tips it in the corner, I want to know if I can get it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I really love it. And I think that's what play is. I will go to T3 and do this boot camp because I want to find out if I can get the ball that someone pushes to the corner. And I want to see if I can grab it. And it just makes me laugh a little bit. And it's fun for me. And I just want to find out. I just want to find out if I can get it.
Yeah, that's it. That definitely, that and a good kill shot, you know. That's always fun. It's springtime now.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's time to go to work. And, you know, this time instead of starting at 380, I'm starting at 319.
Uh-huh.
So
where are you going to get?
Maybe we'll get to 260.
I don't want to hear maybe. Where are we going?
We'll get to 270. We'll put 270.
All right,
270.
260 it is.
260?
That's
all right, 260.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Ask Steadfast. Whit and I are super excited to use this avenue to sort of spread our message. And so it would mean a ton to us if you'd subscribe to this channel. Additionally, if you have any questions you'd like to see addressed in future episodes, whether serious or funny, we'd love to see those in the comments. So leave that in the comment below and we'll see you in the next one.